Hi guys, Eric here. Just a quick word that this episode was recorded about 1.5 months ago. That said, a lot has changed. Some of the prompts have become skills. People are moving into coding apps like the Claude app and the Codex app. Anthropic also released their new model Opus 4.7, but I want to assure you that whatever you see in this episode would still be applicable, especially if you're still just starting in your journey coding with AI or learning how to develop new apps. So I hope this episode inspires you to grab a friend or family member or even yourself and get coding because it's never been easier to build.
I spend a lot of time planning my features actually. I spend maybe half an hour to maybe 2 hours just writing an entire prompt.
We're like fighting on screen.
Oh no.
Restore coding conversation. We managed to get a mock app up, which would have taken Jason a day or two. A day to make, maybe.
Definitely manually, probably more than a few days.
Yeah, and we did it in 2.5 hours. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Code Riff podcast. I'm Eric, vibecoder, and today with me I have Jason, who is a software engineer.
I'm Eric's cousin.
Why Jason came over is because he wanted to build something fun for the family so that our family members can hang out with each other more easily, especially our grandparents who are also getting a bit older. So we'd like to vibe code something that would be able to be useful for helping them hang out with each other, find new places, things like that. So it's going to be quite free flow. Jason sent me a few voice messages yesterday. Jason, do you mind just summarizing what was the initial thought?
Yeah, okay. So my grandparents are getting old and basically they don't have a lot of things to do, right? Old people they don't do a lot of things, and then they don't do a lot of things, then they'll just start to kind of deteriorate at home. Their brains are not stimulated, their bodies don't move, and they're a bit less excited about life. And I think when that happens, then that's when you start to get old and start to get sick, and you start to bad things start to happen. So I was thinking, how can I stimulate or engage them more? And I was thinking of certain pain points that I felt, but maybe they don't feel it. But I just feel like maybe I could make some kind of an application to make it easier for us to meet up as a family, as well as keep track of where we have eaten before as a family, like an easy place to check. Because sometimes we go to places with my grandparents and we eat stuff and we forgot that we've been to a place. And then when we go back, we kind of forget whether the food was good. Because my grandfather likes to write reviews about food places. So firstly, we are a bit lazy to read it. Secondly, it's also in Chinese. So maybe the younger ones struggle to read it a bit. So yeah, I thought that it would be nice if we have an app that could kind of help everyone see where the family's eating, even create open geo, so it's easy to invite people and whatnot. I mean, now it's pretty easy. We use WhatsApp and all. But that's just an additional feature. I guess the main feature, it would be something like a map we can keep track of where we've eaten before, and an easy place that we can see all the reviews that my grandfather has written, So it's kind of easier for us to keep track of the reviews as well as to have it in one place so that we can easily access it. Yeah.
Let me just show you what Jason's talking about in terms of the essays that my grandpa writes. This is on Notion, and he writes about places that he's been to in Malaysia, and also some of the favorite foods that he has tried in even Singapore. There are many restaurants here, maybe even 50 articles or something.
Maybe I can talk about my motivations real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually I have two motivations to embark on this project with Eric. Yeah. So firstly is basically, yes, to create an interesting app that maybe my family might use. So whether they use it or not very important. So just wanted to try make something over a weekend, see how good coding has become with AI, So that's the first motivation. Yeah. The second motivation is basically, so Eric is an avid Claude user, and I actually haven't used Claude before. I've been using Cursor mainly at my work and for my personal projects. So I kind of want to just see how Eric uses Claude, so learn something about Claude, see whether he can win me over as a user. Yeah, and just like learn about the differences between Claude and like Cursor. See what was the big differences and see how far Claude can kind of take my ideas and run with it and go crazy. Yeah, I want to
Okay.
see how good Claude can take my ideas and put it into real life.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. So, what model is your favorite right now?
So usually at work, I use Sonnet 4.5, like Claude. So it's pretty good. It does most coding tasks very well. It understands, it doesn't hallucinate that much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mainly use that at my work. And I guess in my free time as well as for daily usage, I use like Gemini and GPT, right? So they're easy to use, good interfaces, and they're sufficient for like daily search and all. But yeah, specifically for coding as well as like product feature creation and iteration, going end to end from like planning to like coding to even like deploying it to live. I want
Yeah.
to see how far this can take us.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Actually, right now I am using Sonnet 4.6 and Opus 4.6. So we are one generation above in terms of what you get to use in work.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess because your company is also trying to control cost, right, when it comes to using tokens, which is probably why you're not using Opus. Is that why? Or-
No, actually, I've just been used to using 4.5. So I've kind of never found, because I see Opus in the selection,
Okay.
and I've just never really got to know Opus. You know, like they kind of deploy new models all the time, and it's like it's like working with someone new every time you're using a new model, right? It's like kind of like why would I want to take a risk with a new intern when my current intern is doing fine?
I see.
Yeah, so I've used Opus once or twice, and it looks like it's functioning totally differently. Like it's
Yeah.
like a new supercharged intern.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm still working my way to using it like more, I guess.
Okay. I'm very curious to see what you think about Opus today, because
Okay.
that's what we are mainly going to be using.
Very cool, very cool.
And I personally find Opus very good at understanding intent. So you might not need to be extremely detailed about what you tell it, and
Okay.
it will try to figure it out.
Okay,
So
perfect.
that's why I guess as a beginner in coding, I use Opus. Where would you start
I
with?
usually like to go from scratch because I like to vet the feature requirements. So usually I spend a lot of time planning my features actually. I spend like maybe like half an hour to maybe 2 hours, like just writing an entire prompt. And I actually go back and forth with the AI to actually ask me like,
Okay.
what am I missing? What do you think I should focus on? What do you think
Yeah.
is not so important or not so useful? And
Yeah.
question me about my intent, like are we spending too much time or resource on a certain feature
Okay.
before I actually start? So I actually have a very solid plan before I start.
Mm.
Yeah, so this is just to it's a contingency, right? In case things go wrong. So I want to make sure that I spend less time later reiterating. I want to make sure that the first prototype that comes out
Yeah.
is going to be something at least nearer to what I want than something that I have a prototype, but I need to iterate like 5-10 times before it starts to get useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think?
So okay, so let's plan. I'm vibe coding with Jason and Eric. Yesterday, Jason also wrote out something, right? That's quite important,
Yeah, that one is like more close to my intent,
which is
I guess you can copy in the second part. The first part is not so important. The features part,
so Jason spent
you can add in
quite
the
some
feature.
time writing this. And
Okay,
I think I'll just copy everything.
Yeah, sure. That's fine too.
Spend some time thinking through. Okay, and then on top here, it's just like brief motivation as well. And then Jason also said spend some time thinking through. And I'll add that the goal of this is also for the family to come together in a meaningful way that helps everyone find the right time to come together and have a nice variety of meals with our grandparents. And also longer term wise, it's to think about having a good mix of food. And also one crazy idea I have is also like to think about how we can make the meals themselves better or more meaningful with conversations. So that's just one additional point that I would add to dilute Jason's intent.
So maybe you help me add one more line underneath. So usually what I do is just so let's not include any technical details and question me about the features and give me questions about what you think important about these and what do I want the features to look like. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very cool, very cool. I've never tried this before, not including any technical details. That's very interesting because you basically want to get to the job to be done. Right?
Yeah, okay. So add like let's focus on getting the requirements right as it can be for now. So yeah, I want you to really grill me on what this app is gonna look like, the user experience, who's using it, and what the entire app experience is gonna be like. Whether it's gonna be a website and a web application, phone application, yeah, and the core features.
So one thing I have to add here, plan mode actually activates a skill called ask user questions.
Okay.
So it's meant to interview the user already.
Okay.
So that's interesting. I mean, we can always do that to make it more robust, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Cool.
one point to add, and something else I would add is that I would like to use Notion as a database because I don't want to spend money to make another Supabase project for this.
Yeah. Okay.
You okay?
Yeah, I guess you can just note that we want to use Notion as a database because we're not discussing anything technical now, right? So
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter now. We're just going through the requirements. Yeah, I think it's fine. We can just start the plan and see what comes out.
So it has a round one of questions.
Okay. I guess I can answer all these.
It's asking us very nicely, MCQ, very nice. Who will use this?
Extended family.
10
All right.
to 25 people.
Next.
Language, how should the app handle language?
Articles.
I think it should be bilingual.
Both? Yes, bilingual and easily switchable perhaps.
Bilingual and easily switchable.
Yeah.
With toggle.
For young and old.
For young and old to use.
Let's go next.
I want to say, take note, make UX extremely elderly friendly.
Okay.
Yeah. Platform, how should people access the app?
Let's do it. Website first is fine. Website first, app later. Yeah.
Okay.
Does everyone need their own login? No.
Shared access, no login, but maybe have a password, okay? Just so that no one hacks it and reads all our family chats.
Yeah.
But have a secret password that we can share privately. Go. Right.
Great. Okay. So, the map review is great. Next, more questions.
When someone opens the app for the first time, what should they see? What is the home screen? Map?
Yeah, what do you think? I don't know. Like I'm imagining in my head kind of like a mixture of a map. Okay.
Yeah.
A mixture of a map and like some feed of activities or like recent meals kind of idea.
Oh wow, it's showing us 3 different designs.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, maybe something like Google Maps has this thing where you have this bar below you can swipe up. Then maybe this bar you can have the feed, So the main thing that comes out is the map, right? But then you actually have this bar to see like the recent things, something like that. Or like even it could be like half the screen like that. What do you think? So something like this.
I think we shouldn't do that because I think Kong Kong and Mama wouldn't be able to swipe a tab up.
Okay,
so it should just be like one page. And then you just scroll down. But if you want to, so I think the dashboard mix is good. Of course, I would want to improve it a bit as well.
But then in that case, then maybe just the map is fine. Then the dashboard can just be another tab underneath. Then there's kind of no need to mix it together, I guess, to make it simpler for them to use. Because in this case, then
but actually,
the map is going to be really small.
What we said, we don't know whether they know how to use the map.
True.
So map is not very user-friendly for elderly.
True. We can chat about this. We can leave this out for now. And, we can chat about this.
Okay, now we have to chat about this.
So, okay, let me re-ask the remaining questions. The home screen focus on. I think Gong Gong's articles are fine. What do you think?
Yeah, actually, I like the map, but I think what makes more sense is for Gong Gong's articles to be repurposed and showcased.
Yeah.
Like highlighted.
Yeah, and then the map is just another tab where people can go to just check where they've eaten before or like find a specific review of a certain restaurant somewhere in the map, so they know like where it is.
Yeah, the map is for us. The articles are for our grandpa.
Yeah.
And for us to engage deeper with his articles.
Yeah, so I guess you can just press 1. And
Okay,
then,
fine. For reactions and comments, what level? Reactions only, short comments.
let's keep this for V1. I think it's fine.
No, I think reactions plus short comments is fine.
I feel like we can always add this later if we find like the app is useful. People like want to add comments and stuff. Shows up beyond Singapore. I think Singapore's only for now is fine.
I think there were some places in Malaysia though, in KL, and a lot of places in KL actually.
But it's going to be like 80-90% Singapore. So
And Gong Gong is going to write one on China. So I would like everywhere, anywhere. But then
okay, anywhere, but the maps focus should be in Singapore because I don't know whether we're using Google Maps, right? Or we're just gonna be a manual, or they're gonna render just a map of Singapore and then we're just gonna have pins around.
anywhere in the world, but focused on Singapore. So each time we open the app, it should be Singapore. Of course, there are articles in KL and parts of China, but let's focus on Singapore always.
And not every article has to map to a restaurant because we sometimes don't have the pins or the links to every single restaurant we eat in.
All right, let's go.
So do you really spend so much time planning? What do you think?
Nope.
Okay. I guess then this is a new experience
No,
for
as
you.
in sometimes I do it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just that recently, what I do is I generate a prototype and I click around
Okay.
and then I see what's missing.
So you iterate on it.
So as I look at what I made, I continue iterating.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. How does Gong add a new article? He writes in Apple Notes. What's the easiest way to get into the app? Share in Apple Notes and it goes into the app.
Wait.
Very complex, but I don't want to. I mean, this solves my pain point.
No, there's no different from pasting into a form, right? Let's say the app has a form that he can just type this in. He doesn't need to type it in Apple Maps.
No, but
can
he
type
loves
it in the
loves
form.
Apple Notes. Like have you used Apple Notes? It's very nice.
Okay, he loves Apple Notes. I see.
Sorry, I am going to do Apple Notes for now because that would be crazy, very amazing.
Okay.
Like it would save me a lot of time.
Okay, yeah. We can go with it. I'm just a bit skeptical on how
Okay.
it's gonna be done. But
Thank
okay.
you, Jason. When someone clicks the WhatsApp show link, what should they see? One is a simple RSVP card. Oh, this is quite nice. It shows the place, the time, who's going, or the RSVP restaurant info. Oh my gosh, this is cute. I actually like this, but it's not as practical as well.
I think a simple card is fine. Yeah, simple card is fine.
We need a purpose.
Only purpose, just comments lah.
Like-
Just comments.
No, I prefer why you should go. It's like more conversational.
Or why you should come. Okay lah, why you should come lah.
Thank you, Jason. we are like fighting on screen.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Enter, submit. Oh, I need a stretch.
Cool. I'm excited. So generally, you don't need to know about the technical details, right? As a non-technical person, like how do you even know you're making the correct decision?
I usually want to know the technical decisions so that I can get the right API keys ready. Honestly, that's all the work for a non-technical coder.
Yeah, I see.
So I just want to make sure that everything is functional, and how it's functional, it's for me to go and grab the keys. Yeah, actually that's the main thing. And yeah, I really don't need the technical stuff. All right, we have a plan. Okay, here's our table, product requirements, context, grandparents getting older. We need more family-oriented activities. Grandpa writes food articles, no one reads them. Family eats out regularly but forgets where they've been. Article output has been declining because grandpa doesn't feel people are reading.
Question, Eric, because you mentioned the database is Notion, right? But now that if you want to directly upload from Apple Notes, like, how's that going to work?
Oh, yeah, because Notion might be good for just a table, a simple table, but it might not be able to store images. That's what you're saying. Like, what was your concern then?
Currently, how do you... So you store the entire article inside Notion, even with the photos, is it?
Yeah, I upload the Apple Notes. I copy paste it into Notion and then I upload the photos one by one. Because the photos cannot be copy pasted.
Oh, can I see your Notion?
I mean, Gong Gong has to share with me the note first into my phone and then I upload it into Notion. Wow. I look chubbier here. Okay.
Yeah, you lost some weight, Eric. And yeah, let's not worry too much. Whatever.
Yeah.
For now.
You just need to have a bit of like irrational optimism sometimes and then you see what works.
Possible.
And then you get disappointed and then you know what is possible.
Yeah.
I think it's good to always know what is at the edge of what's possible. Okay. The goal is a simple, delightful app that brings, number one, brings people together. Number two, gives the writings a spotlight. And number three, becomes a long-term family food memory log. Okay. The navigation is 3 bottom tabs, articles, map, and geo. Okay. Actually, that sounds quite elderly friendly. If it's very big on the bottom, it's quite easy to click. Okay, feature number one is articles. So this is the default screen. Articles are displayed. There is a full article view. And then there is a way to input for our grandpa. So feature 2 is map. And then there's a restaurant card with the restaurant, photos, 3 bullet summary, okay. And a button to read the review from our grandpa. Okay, feature 3 is Geo for meal invitations. Simple flow for organizing family meals. Not where people discover meals. WhatsApp is the main channel. This makes it easy to create and share invites. So this is the Geo flow. Number 1, plan a meal. Number 2, pick a restaurant. Number 3, set a date and time. Number 4, write why you should come. Number 5, have a shareable WhatsApp message with a link. Number 6, copy and send to the WhatsApp group that they want. Okay. The RSVP page, after you've clicked into the link, opens a browser, shows the restaurant, date, time, why you should come, who's going, I'm joining button. And then after joining, your name appears. So there are no accounts. Yeah, person taps I'm joining and types their name. Perfect. Perfectly simple. Okay. Geo tab is a list of upcoming meals, past meals, plan a meal. After the meal, anyone can upload photos. Becomes part of the restaurant visit. UX principles, elderly friendly, bilingual, minimal friction, WhatsApp native, and spotlight of the articles. And technical approach, Notion database structure, and then there's our build phases. Phase 1, foundation. Phase 2, articles. Phase 3, map. Phase 4, geo. Phase 5, photos and polish. And then there's a verification to test everything's working.
Actually, I was thinking for a little extra feature is just that, we each have like a photo inside the app, like our face photo.
Yeah.
So it's easy to see who went for which meal. We just see the bubble of our faces and not like the names of who went. That was like my idea originally. Like if I click into a visit, then I just see a big on top of just the faces of who went, and like maybe a small name underneath, just to make it a little more cute.
Okay,
That's my original idea.
Okay, so we should implement another feature where in the settings of the whole app, since we have no accounts, we should be able to write a person's name and then upload a photo, a profile picture for each of the names. And then when we are writing who is going for the meals, as we type the name, a drop down of names should appear. And then when you click the right name, it should show the name, and then ideally it should show the profile picture with a name below the profile picture.
Just click on the faces.
Or even clicking on faces.
You can just, so like...
I rather search rather than click the 16. It's not all 16 faces will come out at once. You know.
But searching 16 faces is very easy. Like if I have a two columns of just faces, it's just 8 rows. And it's very easy to click 8 rows
And
of big faces.
if I were to riff on that, these faces would be quite translucent, transparent, but when you click it, it becomes opaque, right? Which is a user-friendly way of indicating who is going.
Yeah, like the background of it is like each of them is going to be on a card, and when you click on it, it's just going to light up as green. Then you can click like confirm to create the invite.
Okay, here's where I have to always decide whether I clear context or continue.
Yeah, sure. I have no preference.
Okay.
Claude has written out a plan. Would you like to proceed? What is clear context?
Claude, I like the plan. We also need to create an intent.md where it would capture a lot of the intent behind why we are building what we are building. And then we also need to create a /save chat, basically containing the initial original prompts that we had. So we can always go back to that, because this chat that we just had is extremely valuable and we don't want to lose any of the original meaning that came out from our mouths, as you have already summarized a lot of things. So I think we do need to create those files and remain faithful to what we wanted. And also that helps us to plan for other features if needed in the future. Yeah, what do you think of this? Do you have to do this in cursor or... I mean, I'm still struggling with this step, the final step. That's why I do a Ralph, because what the Ralph does is it makes like 60 features or less. And then I know that it has captured all the features that I needed in a very long thing that it immediately executes. But how do you manage long stuff and so many things? You put it in linear, is it? Or Jira?
Long things are, so I struggle with that also, like keeping important context. So usually I just try to summarize things.
Okay.
I'll ask Cursor to put it into a markdown file for later. Cursor now even usually creates its own file when it finds that something is important, but I find it creating too many files. So I still struggle with that, like keeping important context somewhere. Yeah, but then again, I guess important context should then be in some document beforehand, and it shouldn't kind of be like an impromptu thing that appears in the middle of a chat,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess we are vibe coding, and usually after an hour and a half, we've only set up our environment and stuff. But yeah, now we can spend more time on figuring out what we want instead.
Oh, I'm still using Notion. I'm still thinking about Notion. We challenge that. I think we should challenge that, right? Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah. As
Okay.
in,
Okay, let's do one more.
Because I mean, I know this because I'm coming from a technical standpoint. Like, how the heck do you like link Apple Notes to like Notion to like your application? It's generally just a little bit like spaghetti, a bit messy, and yeah, it should come off as like a red flag, like straight away. Like, how is that architecture gonna work? It's definitely something weird. Is it gonna just take some shortcut to do some stupid feature that might not work? So that's where I start thinking like, how do we link these things behind the scene? So usually for these technical details, I also prompt the model to ask me.
Prompt? No.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So like, how are you going to handle the data source? How are we linking Apple Notes to Notion to our application? Because currently we already have Notion, which is just, we have a folder with many pages of articles that my grandfather has. Yeah, how are we going to link this all together? Have you considered these?
It is possible to use Apple Notes, send it to Notion.
Access images only external URLs.
Yeah, that's why you can't just like copy paste from Apple to Notion.
So either way, it's going to be a problem for photos, right?
Yeah.
Take photo, upload image.
So maybe Eric should do this manually first. Right? As in we should kill this feature.
Yeah, let's kill the upload feature, automating upload feature, and Eric can just upload to Notion as it is now.
Yeah.
Then it's just going to scrape from your Notion somehow. Yeah, I guess it's a feature we can try to iterate on later if people use it.
Mhm.
Maybe uploads to Notion. So when I add a photo to Apple, it's basically just reading from external link. Like Apple just saves it in some cloud and so it's a link.
Yeah, it's a link. So when you copy paste, I think Notion uploads onto its servers.
This is what you do like when you stare at the screen too much. You change your wallpaper. Ooh, this is nice. But yeah, I do find myself staring at my chat in cursor for like really extended periods of time, and it's actually quite exhausting.
Then you get eye strain. You know, after 20 minutes, you're supposed to look very far for at least 20 seconds.
Is it?
Every 20 minutes. And my eyesight has actually got worse. Yeah, because I think I stare quite long on my computer.
Oh no, Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we have now?
Okay, very quickly, the new product requirements.
Yeah, but let's skip to the part where we deleted.
Shall we just go?
Yeah.
Clear context and bypass permissions.
Is that what you usually do? Do you clear context? Does it make it better? I don't know.
think
Up to you.
I think it's good just so like
Okay.
now this is the canonical thing.
Okay.
Right? We spent the past hour and a half like making this thing. So it's just gonna follow this thing.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead.
Okay. And then we also want to see how it works and explain how it works, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah, but I also face this frustration where I spend too long already and I just want to keep going. I just like I'm so sick of it. Just start.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that kind of decreases the output over time. Like
Yeah.
since like you're really interested at the start and then we are really detailed and then we just get more frustrated and we just want to have something to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I face that like all the time. Like at work, in my personal projects, I spend like an hour planning and then the quality just goes down and I just want to start. Because of that, I end up with something shittier than if I just spend more time planning.
But when you say shittier, it's also you're comparing it to a state where you have a mental, like kind of infinite mental capacity to plan out all these crazy features that you are doing in that amount of time, right? Because right now the output is already tremendous. But what you're comparing to is like a tremendous amount of output with sustained like mental capacity.
Yeah.
Then you're comparing it to like something quite unreasonable in a sense.
That's true. Because we are speed running it, so like the battery gets drained faster even for our own brains.
Yeah. You need more water?
Yes.
All right, just took an eye break. So it didn't. Okay, it saved the plan, and then it's doing the self review. What is this? So it wrote the plan. Oh, so it continued to write the plan using a skill to write the plan. It looked into V1. Oh. No.
Oh no.
Restore code and conversation. How long has it been? 2 hours. People actually say they miss 4.5. Wow, this is exactly what you're talking about with Sonnet. Like you're used to Sonnet already. Like people were used to 4.5.
Yeah, right. It's like a different person.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might get a more nerdy, like smarter colleague, but they just have worse social skills, and you just don't want to work with them.
4.6 is nice, but spins is real forever.
Yeah. So
okay,
interesting phenomenon.
Yeah.
How we are describing models.
Okay, so we're done, and we lost a lot of footage. But anyways, we managed to get a mock app up, which would have taken Jason a day or two, to make maybe.
Definitely manually, probably more than a few days.
Yeah, and we did it in like 2.5 hours. So we do have the app. It's quite nice. Still mock data, and we'll see how we can put real data on it. So, but yeah, thanks for joining me on this, Jason. Thank you for making this interesting and cute idea for the family. I'm sure, I hope they will love it.
I mean, you don't have to love it as long as we try something and we explore AI, and you help me understand more about Claude.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. I learned a lot.
Yep. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Jason. And see you all in the next episode. Hi everyone, Eric jumping in from the future here. Just wanted to show you what the app looks like after spending a few more hours on it before we launch it to the family. So here you have the main page with the articles that's able to be translated between English and Mandarin. Able to do that within each article as well, with a map page that you are able to look at different places and see what's the associated place with it. And there is also a notes page for random notes from people. There's a planning page where you can organize meals with people and also click into who is joining or who is hosting. So yeah, I hope this inspires you to grab a family or friend or yourself to get building. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode. If you found this helpful, feel free to leave us a rating on your favorite podcasting apps, or like, share, subscribe on YouTube. And if you want to get into the next episode, feel free to fill out the form as well. So yeah, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate that you even made it to the end. And see you on our next episode. Bye.